Did you know that Shein has become the largest online fashion retailer in the world, surpassing industry giants like Zara and H&M? In 2022 alone, Shein was valued at a staggering $100 billion. A huge figure that's hard to wrap your head around. But honestly, while the numbers are impressive, they come with a dark side that's often overlooked. In a world where we're conditioned to think that cheap fashion is a win, Shein's model raises some serious questions. How can they afford to sell clothes so cheaply? What's the real cost of those $5 dresses? Today, I'll reveal all the dark truths that they don't want you to know, and explore why this fast fashion giant might just be the worst thing to happen to the fashion industry. Okay, the company was originally founded by Chris Xu in 2008 as a wedding dress site called Shein. In 2015, it rebranded as Shein to simplify its name and broaden its appeal. Now, if you look at it, Shein's strategy is a masterclass in leveraging tech and social media. The brand has harnessed the power of algorithms to identify the latest fashion trends faster than you can say fast fashion. With a design team of over 2,000 people, Shein produces around 6,000 new styles every single day. Yes, every day. It's like a never-ending fashion show, and we're all invited, whether we like it or not. For those of us over 30, Shein might have seemed like a foreign concept at first, but for Gen Z, it's basically a rite of passage. The brand has over 32 million followers on Facebook and 33 million on Instagram. But of course, the real magic happens on TikTok, where Shein hauls have become a cultural phenomenon. Influencers and everyday shoppers alike are posting videos where they unpack their Shein orders, try on the clothes, and share their thoughts. Shein has even enlisted college students to promote their brand on campuses, offering them rewards for positive reviews. It's like a sorority for fashion, where the only requirement is to convince your friends that buying a dress for $10 is a great idea. Who needs a degree when you can be a Shein ambassador, right? Anyway, Shein's business model is a hyper-accelerated version of fast fashion. While traditional retailers might produce thousands of each item, Shein takes a very different approach. They create smaller runs, often producing between 50 to 100 pieces of each design. This means they can quickly gauge what's popular and ramp up production on those items. If something flops, no problem. They just discontinue it and move on to the next trend. This test and learn approach allows Shein to adapt to consumer preferences at lightning speed. Interestingly, Shein's average selling price is just over £5. That's cheaper than a cup of coffee. But of course, there's a catch. When something is that cheap, you have to wonder, what's the trade-off? The reality is that these low prices often come at a significant cost to the environment and the people making the clothes. Shein has been accused of plagiarism, with numerous brands and independent designers claiming that their designs have been copied. Big names like Levi Strauss and Ralph Lauren have taken legal action against the retailer, but the problem runs deeper. Independent artists, like Edinburgh-based illustrator Elora Potrat, have reported that Shein has lifted their work multiple times without credit. It's a classic case of imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, except in this case, it's more like imitation is the foundation of a billion-dollar empire. Shein claims to add between 2,000 and 10,000 new styles daily. In the best-case scenario, they're producing around 5,000 items per day. To put this into perspective, Zara, the poster child for fast fashion, takes about 2 weeks to get a product from design to store. Shein has cut that down to just 3 days. This hyper-speed production cycle has created a culture where consumers are constantly bombarded with new options, and it's hard not to get swept up in the frenzy. To be honest, this relentless churn comes at a huge environmental cost. Fast fashion is already one of the most polluting industries on the planet, and Shein's model only exacerbates the problem. The sheer volume of clothing produced leads to staggering amounts of waste. In fact, the volume of textiles in U.S. landfills has nearly doubled over the past 2 decades. According to the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, the fashion industry is responsible for 10% of global carbon emissions. So, what about Shein's so-called sustainability initiatives? They've made some attempts to appear eco-friendly, but come on. We all know these efforts are just a marketing ploy. Recently, they launched a sustainable collection, but the reality is that it barely scratches the surface of the environmental damage they cause. According to their own sustainability report, production volume increased by a staggering 57% in 2023, leading to a 52% rise in their emissions. That's like saying, hey, we're doing great, let's just keep pumping out more pollution. They went from 6.04 million tons of CO2 emissions to 9.17 million tons in just a year. So how does Shein manage to keep its prices so low while contributing to such a massive carbon footprint? Well, I think it's all about their direct shipping model. By shipping directly from China to consumers, they sidestep many of the legal obligations imposed by Western countries like the US and EU. This means they can avoid costly quality control protocols and environmental regulations that traditional retailers like Zara and H&M have to comply with. If that wasn't enough, let me tell you Shein's clothing is made from synthetic materials like polyester, which is derived from fossil fuels. They use cheap dyes and materials that don't meet safety standards in Western countries. This means that the clothes we buy might be soaked in harmful chemicals that can leach into our waterways, polluting ecosystems and harming wildlife. Shein's factories don't comply with environmental standards that traditional retailers must adhere to. This lack of compliance allows them to reduce production costs significantly, which is why they can offer those jaw-droppingly low prices. But while we're all busy snagging snagging deals, we're also complicit in a system that prioritizes profit over the planet. What's the cost for society? The fashion industry is a notorious water guzzler, with estimates suggesting that it takes around 2,700 liters of water to produce just one cotton t-shirt. Shein's rapid production model only exacerbates this issue. In regions where water scarcity is already a pressing issue, the demand for fast fashion can lead to devastating consequences. Rivers are being diverted for textile production, and local communities are left struggling to access clean water. This will be a hefty environmental burden that future generations will be forced to bear. Okay, if you thought the environmental issues were alarming, wait till you hear about the human cost of Shein's practices. Shein operates through a vast network of suppliers in China, with reports indicating that they have around 6,000 small factories at their disposal. Many of these factories operate without proper oversight, and workers often face grueling conditions, long hours, and meager wages. Reports indicate that some workers earn as little as $2 an hour. Christian Hardiman, leader of ratings at Good On You, has pointed out that Shein represents the worst of the worst when it comes to transparency and ethical practices. The company operates in a black box, making it nearly impossible to hold them accountable for the conditions in which their garments are produced. According to a report by Public Eye, nearly 83% of Shein's suppliers were found to be operating with major risks related to labor practices. There's also the psychological impact of Shein's addictive shopping experience. Have you ever found yourself scrolling through their app, adding items to your cart, and feeling that rush of excitement? Yeah, me too. Shein's marketing tactics are designed to create a sense of urgency and FOMO. They bombard you with notifications about sales, flash deals, and limited time offers, making it hard to resist the urge to buy. It's a vicious cycle. I mean, you buy more clothes, but you're never satisfied because there's always something new and trendy to chase after. Interestingly, the low prices at Shein mean we're more likely to treat ourselves to multiple items without a second thought. Why not buy 2 dresses for the price of one at a traditional retailer? This mindset reinforces the idea that it's okay to buy more because, hey, it's cheap. The irony? We end up with a closet full of clothes that we barely wear, all in the name of saving money. Now, I want to take a moment for some honest reflection. We've all been there, scrolling through Shein, adding items to our cart, and justifying our purchases with phrases like, "It's so cheap." But honestly, what's the real cost of cheap fashion? We live in a society that literally glorifies fast fashion and the idea that we should always have the latest trends. But this mindset comes at a price. It's not just about the dollars we spend, it's about the impact on our environment and the people who make our clothes. According to the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, it's estimated that 150 million tons of clothing will clog landfills by 2050. That's a big number, and it's a direct result of our throwaway culture. We're buying more clothes than ever, but we're also discarding them at an alarming rate. So I challenge you to think critically about your shopping habits. Next time you're tempted to buy that $10 dress, ask yourself, is it worth it? Is it worth the environmental damage? Is it worth the exploitation of workers? And that's a wrap for today's video. What are your thoughts on Shein and fast fashion? Have you ever felt guilty about a purchase? Or maybe you have tips for shopping more sustainably? Drop your comments below. I'd love to hear your perspectives. And if you'd like me to cover a story on a specific topic, let me know that too. If you found this video useful, please like it and make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our next videos. As always, thank you for watching.